What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/IDontWorkHereLady. This story's called Woman Mistakes Me for the Manager, Demands Me to Fire Another Dude Who Doesn't Work There Either, then lies to the owner that I told her I was the manager to get me arrested. A bit of information about me. I am 15 years old, almost 16, and often get mistaken for a little bit older. I am not exactly skinny or muscular, and arm strength isn't my strong suit. My leg strength is pretty good though, and my grip is basically unescapable. On to the story. The cast. Me as I. The entitled woman as entitled woman. The new employee as new employee. Mistaken boy. The owner of the tech store. This happened a few months ago. I was in my local tech store looking for controllers and accessories for my Nintendo Switch. In that store, the employees wear a light blue shirt and black jeans. The mistaken boy, on the other hand, was wearing a dark blue hood, denim jeans, and a leather jacket, and I just came from my sister's wedding and was dressed accordingly. I was browsing the shelves with controllers when I heard her. The entitled woman. Excuse me? She was talking to the mistaken boy, who didn't react because of his headphones. You can guess where this is going already. Entitled woman taps the mistaken boy on the shoulder. He turns around and pulls out his headphones. Excuse me? Am I blocking something? Or how can I help you? I want to know where the coffee machines are. Mistaken boy looks around to either A, look for the coffee machine section, or B, an actual employee. He finds the coffee machine section first though. It should be over there somewhere. He points at the huge sign saying coffee machines. What a hero! That truly was hard to find, entitled woman. Yes, I see. The entitled woman goes over to the coffee machine section without thanking mistaken boy or wishing him a good day, mind you. After about 5 minutes, the entitled woman comes back. Under her arm, a big package with a red multifunction coffee machine. Could you get this one in green? The green looks better in my kitchen. Excuse me? Why should I? You were just in the coffee machine. It says here on the package, available in other colors. So it does, but what do I have to do? Listen here, dumbass. I don't need to tell you how to do your flippin' job. She doesn't seem to have understood that he isn't asking how, but why. Now go get my goddamn coffee machine, you insult against Asians, and don't drop it. It's worth more than you are. Mistaken boy refuses to do anything and continues to explain. However, he was pissed. Listen, lady, I don't work here, nor do I tolerate you talking to me like that. So if you'd excuse me. Mistaken boy tries to get past the entitled woman, but she blocks his way. No, I do not excuse you. She went full on rage mode. You are lying. I know you work here. You just told me where to go. You're just too lazy to do your work. Now, get me my coffee machine or I'll get you fired faster than you got smuggled into my country. I do not work here. And if you continue to call me an illegal immigrant or any other insulting names, I will call the cop. The mistaken boy takes out his phone. No, you will not. She grabs mistaken boy's phone. I want to see a manager. The entitled woman ran away to see the manager. She went directly towards me. Excuse me. Give me back my phone, you thief. Excuse me. I turn around. Yes. I asked your employee to help me, but he refused to and kept playing on his phone. What the frick? I don't work here. You just stole my phone, insulted me, and now are lying to some random dude? Shut it. Excuse me? I want you to fire him right now. I start to smirk because of this subreddit, and of course because she just striked a double I don't work here lady moment. Is this a joke to you? Are your customers a joke to you? Ma'am, give me back my phone now! The entitled woman ignores mistaken boy. Stop smirking and fire him already. Sorry, but I don't work here, lady, and I'm pretty sure he doesn't either. The entitled woman now goes full-on rage mode again. I see. You're trying to protect him. Well, I know he works here, and you do too, so stop lying. I want to speak to the owner. You'll all be fired unless you stop being lazy and fire this insult against Asians. I, who is now really angry about how racist this lady is, listen. We do not work here, and now give this dude his phone back. This is attempted theft. This is where nice employee enters the conversation. Is there a problem, ma'am? The entitled woman's eyes go wide and she smirks.
Yes, I need to speak to the owner of this store.
Can't this be sorted with the manager? Entitled woman, yet again, completely in rage mode.
Apparently not. He's just as lazy as this.
Again, the same insult against Asians.
So, get the owner now!
Well, I'm new here and didn't even know he was the manager. The supervisor must have forgotten to tell me. Of course, this translated in the entitled woman's mind to,
he is the manager.
Because when some new employee who doesn't know the staff says, you might be the manager, and she doesn't know it, that is a definitive statement.
I knew it, you dirty liar!
She turns to nice employee.
Go get the owner before they try and run.
Nice employee hurried and was soon no longer visible. After approximately 10 minutes, the entitled woman lost patience and said,
what is taking so long? I'll go get him myself.
Myself meant, in this case, us three, because at this point she saw us as her prey or trophies. Entitled woman grabbed the mistaken boy's hoodie, who at this point had given up to resist. She reached out for me, grabbed my arm, and started dragging us. Remember my leg strength and inescapable grip? This is where they come into play. She dragged us in the direction of the cashier desk, where no one currently was. The mistaken boy just went with her willingly. I did not. I didn't move a single inch.
Stop resisting, you fat, lazy liar! How did you even get this job? Probably paid for it.
I don't work here! And now, let go!
Shut it! Prisoners aren't allowed to talk!
I now grab her arm.
Ow! Help! I'm being assaulted!
Let go! I tighten my grip and she finally lets go of both of us. To be honest, her arm was a little bit red and white and started to swell. Not too bad though, and it turned back to normal after a few minutes. She knew though not to touch me again.
You'll hear from my lawyer! When I'm done with you, you'll all go to jail!
In comes tech store owner with nice employee. What is so important that I had to interrupt my meeting?
I thought you cared about your customers, but judging by these two employees...
She points at me and mistaken boy.
I guess not. They are lazy liars. I demand that you fire them right now.
Yes, she actually said, I demand. Store owner was a bit confused and said after collecting his thoughts, I'm afraid I can't do that, ma'am. Wrong answer.
I see. You support this inappropriate behavior. No, you don't. It's because we... If you dare speak up again, you little...
Insults against Asians. This is getting old.
And don't call me a dunce ever again.
She turns to the store owner.
I'll make sure my brother knows about you and this store full of rude lazies.
I guess she thought we'd know who her brother is, but it was so unimportant that no one even reacted to that threat. I cannot fire them because they don't work here, ma'am. It was at this point that entitled woman was speechless for about 4 seconds. She must have finally realized that she was in the wrong. So she went full Karen mode and started lying. She turns to me and says, You lied to me. Mind you, since the store owner arrived, I hadn't said that I didn't work there yet, because I just got tired of repeating myself.
When mistaken boy was trying to explain to me that he doesn't work here, you came up to us and assured me he does and that you're the manager. And when I said I didn't believe you, you assaulted us.
Before I can say anything, entitled woman freaks out and tells the store owner to call the cops. What the actual frick are you saying here? But this isn't... Entitled woman to the store owner.
My boy doesn't know what he's saying. He clearly got traumatized by this lunatic.
Your boy? Entitled woman realizes they look nothing alike. Big surprise as she calls him a insult for Asians all the frickin' time.
I adopted him.
Before mistaken boy could say anything, entitled woman put her hand up in his face and in his eyes.
Now call the cops. This criminal piece of crap needs justice.
After a long time of silence on nice employee's side, he speaks up again. Justice? Well, if you want justice, we should check the CCTV camera recordings. Entitled woman's face went white, truly pale. Quick note. Nice employee, you're a legend. You caught her in her selfish trash talk and used her own words to corner her into her own doom. She should not have said the word justice because true justice is justified by proof, and the proof was what she wanted to avoid. The store owner checked the CCTV camera recordings, called the police, and got entitled woman arrested for reasons of which I don't know the specifics, but the police went on for a while when listing them, so I guess the space this info message is taking up is about the space the actual list would have. Mistaken Boy and me got a €100 gift card each. The store owner apologized for almost 10 minutes. Mistaken Boy, nice employee, or the store owner and me always have a laugh about the whole story every time we see each other. And I never saw entitled woman again. Ever. And I live in a small town. Okay, I'm not even gonna BS with you guys. This story, what the hell, man? 15-year-olds, they don't know how to control the fakeness. You know, a lot of these stories, they might be fake, but like, I don't want to say anything about it because, it just ruins the experience mostly. But come on, I had to read this story. This is just so ridiculous. Oy. You gotta limit how crazy you make these people if you're gonna make a story up. At least try to make it believable. I wonder where he was planning to fly before he decided I was an airport employee. Happy New Year, people! Last year, 2018, I was with my girlfriend in the bar at a British airport waiting for a flight to the US. We had some time to kill because our flight was one of the many delayed by the weather. The bar was busy with lots of people in the same situation. After a long queue to get served, we luckily found a small table away from the crowd and sat down. On my way, I noticed a beer-bellied man and an angry-faced wife further back in the queue, complaining very loudly. He had the red nose of a heavy drinker, so I'll call him Rudolph. I was wearing a dark blue jacket and a pale blue shirt and black chinos. Very casual and nothing like the staff who were wearing black polo shirts with bright yellow piping and logos, gold name tags, and black trousers. After I had been sitting with my girlfriend for a minute, we discovered that one of us was a clumsy twat. That clumsy twat knocked his drink over with his elbow. I did my best to mop it up with the napkins on the table, but they were slightly less absorbent than marble, so I was just steering beer all around the table. Like the good-hearted and responsible citizen that I am, I suggested to my girlfriend, "I don't think anyone saw. Let's frick off sharpish." But no, Mrs. Goody Two-Shoes said, "Go to the bar and ask for a cloth." I quickly asserted my manly dominance over her by going to the bar and asking for a cloth. As I was wiping up my lager, Rudolph approached me. He looked about my age, 30s. He also sounded about 5 pints ahead of me in the drinks race. He tapped my arm heavily. He asked me, "Why is it taking so long to get served?" I answer, "It's busier than usual. It's probably the extra customers because of the flight delays." For some reason, my attempt to explain made him angry. He barked at me, "All the more reason that it should be all hands to the pumps behind the bar." I must have looked surprised by his anger. I said, I suppose you're right." "Well?" he said loudly enough to have heads turning. "Well, what?" This answer absolutely lit him up. I'm not sure of the exact words because he was trying to talk much faster than his mouth could manage. The point he was apparently trying to make through shouting and spitting was that I should be behind the friggin' bar serving drinks instead of tossing about tidying the friggin' tables. That's when it clicked with me that he thought I was an employee. I said, "I don't work behind the bar, I'm just..." That sentence would have finished as, "I'm just a customer like you." But he cut me off. I was still wiping up my mess with a large cloth in my right hand. He grabbed my right wrist and continued his tirade. I told him very clearly to let go of me. My girlfriend saw what was happening and quickly stood up. She put her hands around my left arm and asked me to stay calm. She told Rudolph, "He doesn't work here." Rudolph didn't hear or didn't understand because his response to her was, "Mind your own friggin' business." I was a little peeved by that. I saw Mrs. Rudolph trundling over toward us, pushing the crowd aside. She looked like a member of a rugby team's drag act, and I assumed that she was coming over to tag team me. I used both hands to lock his left wrist. I pulled him towards me, and as he instinctively pulled back, I changed from pulling to pushing and helped him to fall backwards into the furniture. He went over with the grace of a newborn elephant. His wife tried to help him up, but that project failed and she fell onto him. While the two of them wriggled on each other, my girlfriend said very clearly, "Do not hit him."
We started to walk out with my girlfriend in front of me. After a few more seconds of floor comedy, Rudolph got up and followed us. I turned to face him and he took a swing for me. A slow, wide, drunken telegraphed right hook. I think a sedated stroke patient could have avoided it. I leaned back out of the way and his fist went past me and carried on. His momentum meant he continued with the punch until the rotation took him too far and he fell over his own feet again. As he stood up from the beer puddle he'd landed in, I just laughed at the two tones of blue his shirt had become because of the huge wet patches. As you can imagine, this improved his mood enormously. He charged for me. I slid left and with a little push on his right side, he missed me again. This time he stayed on his feet. When he turned, he would have gone for me another time, but he noticed the police that had arrived in the bar. Mrs. Rudolph called to the police and pointed at me and claimed I had assaulted her and her husband. I was expecting some support from the crowd. I wasn't expecting a round of applause, but maybe someone saying, "No, he didn't hit him." Instead, all I could see were couples gossiping and people trying to improve the position of their phones for filming, and the queue reforming. The police, as you'd expect, separated us and one listened to Rudolph while a second listened to me. The one who was interviewing me and my girlfriend was interrupted by a third officer. They stepped away. It became clear that cop number 3 had seen the CCTV. Cop number 3 went to Rudolph's interviewer and did the same. Cop number 2 explained that they'd seen the video and they'd satisfied themselves that I wasn't to blame. He asked me to go with them to make a statement. After discussing how long it would take, I decided I'd rather not risk missing the flight, so I'd do it after we returned. I took the officer's card. At that time, Rudolph and his wife started yelling. My guess would be that the police had given him the bad news about the video evidence. He wouldn't calm down, so they cuffed him and led him away. Cop number 2 told me Rudolph was arrested. He'd be taken to the police station at the airport and possibly to the main station if he needed to be detained. Either way, his bags would be removed from the flight he was booked on because he wouldn't be allowed to fly today. When I returned to Britain, I phoned the officer as promised. Rudolph had been transferred to the main police station because he couldn't be interviewed until he was sober. After a night in the cell, he'd become very cooperative. He had one conviction for assault 11 years earlier, so the police decided to deal with this offense by giving Rudolph a formal caution. It doesn't carry any punishment, but it will be taken into account if he offends again. Going back to the day of the incident, after all the excitement was over, my girlfriend and I settled into our flight. She said she was very pleased with me for staying calm and not being more violent. She hinted that there might be a special reward. I mentioned that I'd never joined the Mile High Club, and if she felt like rewarding my good behavior, we could slip into the toilet for a quickie. I'll always remember her reply. "You can fornication under consent of the king right off." First off, that's a cute-ass relationship. Second, holy crap was this funny. Okay, this guy knows how to write. This was good.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.